Okay, so the bike is out of the box, the front wheel has been assembled, the caliper has been adjusted. One thing to remember is when putting the front fork caliper assembly over the wheel, to be very careful not to damage the pads. You know, you're going to have to slip it around the rotor and then the forks over the front stud here. So on mine I did have to adjust, this is the caliper mounting bracket bolt here, and here there's two bolts, and you might have to loosen them to adjust the caliper to the right spot. There's also an adjustment screw on the back side here. There's a set screw here, you have to loosen that, and once you loosen the set screw you can adjust the inside pad in or out, and when these screws are loose, you can bolts are loose, you can adjust the caliper on this side in or out. So adjust it to 1/32, you know, to where the rotor doesn't rub and the front brakes grab properly. So that's my recommendations on the front caliper adjustment. A little bit of a pain in the ass, took me about 15-20 minutes, not too bad. So as I stated before, with the front assembly done, I'm now proceeded to the handlebar assembly and the seat assembly. The seat's already on. It came with this very skinny hard seat here on the floor. I didn't use that. I like a nice soft ride, which is why I got the fat bike with these nice fat tires. I went with the Cloud 9 seat. I do recommend the Cloud 9 seat. Very soft, very cushiony. Unless you're like a serious motocross racer, and maybe you might want to go with that lighter seat right there. Me, I prefer this seat. Seat goes on easy. You know, comes with the quick adjust. You know, seat clamp, very easy to use. The handlebars I'm going to put on now, just 4 screws basically. Took out 3 of them. I'm going to slip the handlebar in place, and then should pretty much be ready to ride. Okay, so for the handlebar assembly, I have it in place. I just have to tighten down my 4 screws. I loosened this one out till it was almost out. That was the last screw, and then swung this assembly out of the way, put the handlebars back in place, and then I'm going to tighten all that down again. And for those who may or may not know, if you never put a bicycle together, there is a screw down under here which tightens down the whole front assembly. You need to make sure that's tight. Also, this dust cap, mine was loose in the package. Be careful not to lose it. You don't want to get any rust or dirt or grime in there. So make sure you save that little black dust cap which pops off to adjust the screw. So I'm going to tighten down my handlebars and then put on my pedals and should be ready to go. Okay, so we're back to the Mongoose Malus, and it is pretty much together at this point, with the exception of I just have to pull off some of the cardboard on here. Good idea if you've never assembled a bike before, just to follow these little extra directions I'm going to give you. Leave as much of the packing on as possible when you're assembling the bike. I know you want to see what it looks like, how cool it looks like, but it's a good idea if you can leave the wrapping on, leave it on while you assemble it. This way if you drop a wrench or it falls over, less chance of it getting nicked, you know, if that's the case. Anyway, another thing you should know, when assembling anything mechanical, especially a bicycle like this is, you know, although it's not, you know, the top end bike, it's a decent bike. Always put together what you have in the box. You know, it's recommended, you know, that the bearings be changed in here to maybe a superior bearing if you're going to be doing a lot of off-roading and really abusing the bike a lot, and possibly, you know, changing the handlebars out, you know, to a superior set. And a lot of people recommend changing this to a click shifter, you know, one of those rapid fire shifters versus the twist shift, which is not a bad idea. But what you should do is put together what you have in the box, road test it, make sure everything functions properly. Because if you make any modifications mechanically to this bicycle and then you road test it, you're not going to know if it was something you did or something it came out of the box with. So definitely put it together with what you have. Like I said, with the exception of maybe the seat, that's not going to make much of a difference, and a set of handlebars, that wouldn't make a difference. But anything as far as bearings are concerned or any gear modifications, always a good idea, once again, to put together what you have, then road test it, make sure you like it, the way it feels, the way it rides, and then when you're satisfied, then if you want to make modifications. And these pedals look, by the way, a little bit cheesy too. Probably be changing those out. I just didn't think to buy any. I wasn't sure exactly what they looked like when I got it. So anyway, I'm just about ready to take it for a road test now. So I just got back from the road test. The bicycle drives flawlessly. Really enjoyed the ride. Very smooth. Just another recommendation for you. The tires, they come overinflated. Well, mine did anyway. The front tire was a 26. The back tire wasn't too bad. It was a 12. They are 20 psi max. That being said, you can drop them down to 10, and the ride's much smoother. And because they are such large tires, they have a pretty high load bearing capability. So for a nice smooth ride, you can drop the pressure pretty low on them without having any adverse effects. Anything else that I could think of? Yeah, just make sure all your bolts are tight. I had to tighten these bolts. Like I said, the bolt for the handlebar stem had to be tightened. This bolt for the kickstand came loose. You're gonna have to tighten that one. And just go over all the bolts once again before you do take it for a road test, and enjoy. You know, for the price, I got this one at Kohl's. It was on sale this week for $238. It came out to about $250 with tax. For the money, it's well worth it. So enjoy.